Okay, I'm gonna start off by saying again, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I'm bad at doing Deltarune theory videos, but I really love this game a lot, so just bear with me. Bear with me. I have a lot of ideas, and this isn't the first time cooking up something ridiculously insane. So, yeah. Also, ignore the desk music playing in the background. It's my thingamajiggy. Oh my god. Hold on. Let me just full screen this. Okay. Okay. The first thing we'll talk about today is the soul in Deltarune. And where the heck is Kris's soul? Where is their soul? Why does everybody assume that this is Kris's soul? This is not their soul. And I can prove it. I can't definitively prove it, but I can shed some little bit of light on it. The first talking point is, why does this individual know how to take out their soul? Why can they take it out? Sorry for the... Hold up. Why can they rip it out? How did they rip it out? Because I'm pretty sure... Because I'm not editing this video. Lord forbid I edit anything. Because if you check my description, because I don't edit anything. But just hold your horses on for me right now. And believe me when I say this, is that soul knowledge in Undertale and Deltarune are very different. And that proves it by Susie bleeding. Monsters in Undertale are made of magic because they eat fake food. They're fake. Not really, but their bodies are mostly made of magic, mostly made of magic. So, yeah, I Undertale. But in Deltarune, they're much different. They're bloody. They have blood. They have vessels. They have organs. They have physical hospitals. They burn stuff. But since they have more physical bodies, they can be in tune with their magic. So, what I'm thinking is that over time, what happened instead of the war we know in Undertale, a war either never occurred, or so I'll with my soda, or it did occur and monsters were just victorious. Monsters defended themselves because they had the same type of souls that humans had, because they were determined. They had the same kind of soul. Because why would human souls and monster souls be any different? I mean, we're all comprised of the same... I know I'm gonna go off the rails, but just bear with me. I'm getting to the main point. Basically, I think the reason why in Undertale they could, the reason why their souls were so weak was because they heavily relied on magic. Like, they relied on it so much that it started affecting their own soul, and they became weaker than the humans because of that. Now, can I definitively prove this? No. This is more of a headcanon than a theory for the Undertale thing. But I really do believe what I'm about to say. I personally believe that at some point before the story, a week, maybe a day, maybe the night before, Kris got their soul swapped with us. Not a two soul, not a one soul, completely soul swapped. Remember in the Gaster intro sequence? The text just changed so weirdly. I remember somebody hearing that, somebody saying that the text is very similar to Kara, but I actually think it might be Des, with the way it parallels, you know, Azrael wanting a better friend in Undertale, blah blah blah, and getting in a Des. So that's why they talk very similarly. That's why they're so slightly Leyland-ish, because they have a wiffle bat hit people. But that's what I just think, right? That's was the one talking to us instead of Gas with the ending sequence, and they swapped our soul for Chris's soul, and I think Chris's soul is actually the teal soul we see in Undertale. Not exactly the same, but they do have a knife, a real knife. They have a light blue to them, the Dark World. And I know I can't like claim that monsters are, especially in Susie's case, because Susie is a purple dinosaur, and Gerson says that Susie has a trait of perseverance. Now tell me, why would Susie have that? Also, another point, Susie's magic is pink. For whatever reason. Not pink, but purple. You get what I mean, But why would it be purple? Colors have a lot of meaning in Undertale. And if we take anything we learned from that game and apply it to this game, like, even the basic parts, like the soul traits being different, I think that Susie has the most predominant trait of perseverance, and that extends to Ralse, even though he's not like a lightner per se. I think they have the trait of kindness because they're green. But that's Ralse is kind of like more up on the broader side. I mean, Ralse does know how to cook and bake, but they only do that because they're waiting for Kris or whatever. They're not waiting for Kris. They do it because they like it, but because they want to make friends. Another thing. So they're blue. They're blue as Kris is blue as they can be. Why are they blue in the Dark World? Is it because they're a corpse? I mean, like, it could be because they're a corpse. Because, they're sold to get ripped out. But I propose a different theory. I propose that Kris, well, no, actually, let me restart from the top. Forget the last one I said. Kris is not a corpse. They're very much in line. I think that, because our soul is not supposed to be in Kris, and, well, because the effects of it were, like, super strong. Our control over them were super strong in Chapter 2, and they're starting to weaken over time, because our souls are not in the right bodies, bro. Our souls are not in the right bodies, and eventually, we're gonna have to find our vessel back, or it's gonna be very bad for both us and Kris. Like, we're gonna be fighting Kris in our own mind, like some Sukuna shit, bro. We're gonna be fighting for control of a singular body, and like, wouldn't it be like just 10 times easier if we just got our own souls back? Because I don't see a reason why Kris's skin would turn a different color. Like, why would their skin turn a different color in, like, the Dark World? And Susie's, Noelle's, and Berdly's are all the same. Why is Kris the only exception to this rule? They shouldn't be an exception unless that they're reflecting the color of their soul, because there is no reason why they should be a different color. I know that in Susie's Dark World that they could, just be whatever the color they want, but like, I mean, everything in that Dark World was all colored mixed, like JoJo palette style swapped, and it could really just be the lighting, but that's not the main point. The main point is that Kris is the light blue soul. They got their soul swapped at some point. I don't know if they're the exact same blue soul in Undertale. But it is for sure some similarities. Knives, patience, because they crawl underneath us is bad and just like hit us with a hockey stick. They're planning meticulously for every move. They even did that like even before they were being controlled. Like, they hid They hid under Noel's bed, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, for like an hour and jumped out and scared them. So that's what I think. But the question is, how does Kris know how to rip it out? How do they know how to do that? Souls are not a well-researched thing in Deltarune. They know so little about souls. They can basically say they know nothing at all. Even Susie, although I kind of doubt Susie being like very well educated on souls, Susie asked if that's our soul. Asking Kris that is a little bit weird, because shouldn't Susie know that by now? Shouldn't she like have seen it multiple times when we're in the Dark Fountain? So I found it a little bit odd, but it's a notable point to bring up. Another thing. Okay, let's just recap so far, because I'm kind of rambling on. I think that Death swapped our soul and Kris's soul. Kris's soul is now in the vessel's body. Our soul is in Kris's body, and it's doing some really weird shenanigans. Also, people theorize that that's his soul trapped in the code, and her body is the night. And they could do some wondrous parallels with Kris, because because they wear night armor, they're blue, they have their soul swapped. I mean, their soul's hidden somewhere. It would make sense that their soul is stuck in the vessel right now. Kind of a similar situation as, Kris' situation, in our situation, and that would be a nice encounter. Well, not a nice encounter for Kris, because imagine seeing your soul trying to get back in your body. That'd be really bad and really weird. Also, they had to do that at least once, right? Why is his skin blue? Why is it? There's no need for it to be blue. I'm telling you, it's all because he's blue. I had this theory. If he was... Oh wait, not he. Whoops, my bad. I'm really sorry. Them. Why is their soul blue? There is no reason for their soul to be blue. Look at them. Look at them and tell me. Look at them and tell me they're hiding something. They're hiding a lot of things from us. So much. So basically, their soul got swapped. Blah blah blah. Somebody ripped out their soul. Probably last night before the game took place. I mean, think about it. Imagine when your body's walking when it's not supposed to. But yeah, our control over Kris is waning and fast, as I can do a lot more stuff without them being prompted to. So much so they can change our own dialogue inputs. Especially the one at the end of chapter 4 when we go back to the door and they did not let you open the door. So yeah, that's just what I think. Kris is big fraudster working with the night to get their soul back, because they have to. I mean, like, when our control runs out, what is gonna happen to Kris's soul in our vessel? Maybe there's not gonna be a lot of fighting back from our vessel, trying to get back their soul. But I don't know. It would feel kind of a bit weird if it was. If it wasn't. So yeah, and in theory, basically, Death swapped our souls. Our control over Kris is waning really badly, really fast. And the longer we wait to find our vessel, the more dire the consequences are going to be for the Fun Gang. Because Kris should not be in control, because they want the Orc of the Night to get their own soul back. And if they got control back, it would be really, really bad. I'd be like, shouldn't we all see this coming? They're wearing knight armor, not full body knight armor, but an apprentice's knight. It's knight's armor. An apprentice's knight. They're the apprentice of the knight. They have a sword. I don't know if you didn't realize this sooner. Come on, man. But yeah. Kris is a fraudulent freaker. That kleptomaniac Kris. Ah, that evil no good doer. But yeah, theory basically. I already said this. I don't have to do the ending sequence, so I'll just put. You watch the video. You know what I said. I'm bad at making content. Goodbye.